Good morning. This is Pixie doing another video. Hope you're well. Hope you're coping. And I hope you're happy. And if you're not, well, I'm sure we can get there. So today, talk about something tridramatic, maybe tridramatic psychology and MGTOW. So I was thinking about aspects of myself. I was trying to understand my sexuality. I was trying to understand myself, and I've come upon the idea that we, well, I guess all humans have a kind of, I've talked about a trinity. So there's a kind of maybe it's tridramatic psychology. So it's the trinity inside ourselves. And so I'm separated into a masculine and a female part, but there's also a beast part as well. So there's the patriarch, the matriarch, and the beast. And I was thinking about it, and it says, what's a beast? It's like this inner voice. But one covers the kind of emotional survival aspects. One's like a core principle of what you are as a kind of living being. The others direct you in certain ways. One wants you to serve a greater good or community. That's sort of the female aspects. The masculine might want you to serve yourself and become a more powerful and better version of yourself, which is very much a MGTOW. And the beast kind of wants to survive by any means to a certain degree. It doesn't want to recourse, but it will also be the higher, strong emotional aspects of your being. And sometimes they call it the shadow work, when people, the dark side. But the patriarch, there's a dark side. The matriarch, there's a dark side. So the patriarch, I guess, when it's married to the beast or twined in some way to the beast, you can have a psychopath, and with the female, a sociopath. So they're manipulating you. But because it's emotional aspects, see, psychopaths don't need to have emotions. It's much the reverse. It's kind of the reverse feelings of it. And I was also thinking about getting angry. So when some people are angry, sometimes you look pathetic, like, oh, for God's sake! It doesn't really come off as a kind of angry as you are. And that's why outbursts tend to be quite short. If you go into some sort of futile rage, you draw a lot of attention, and then the other aspects of your character say, hey, you look a bit stupid here, or the feminine, or whatever. You try to balance out. It's only a short-term explosion, really. It's the survival part. There's no survival in acting like an idiot. But some people play up into it, or have been kind of conditioned for that, and that's to do with some of the parenting. Somebody's very chaotic and doesn't care about themselves, then that's likely an aspect of that. So I think it's quite important when it comes to MGTOW, though, is that if you're kind of rejecting certain relationships from things, or you're pulling back to reassess yourself, then you will be looking at like your inner feminine side. So let's say you got really badly hurt from a relationship, you want to re-establish your creative interests, intellectual pursuits. Maybe that would be the patriarch, and survival. Maybe you want to develop better means of looking after yourself. So you might start exercising and things like that. So a bit like when people on the lockdown, they're jogging around the place. They might not actually be doing a lot, but it's making them feel better, and making them feel like they're controlling an aspect of themselves. And then it's also about the hormones. They're not going to lose loads of weight, but however, it does keep your body finely tuned is better than having a body that's basically hasn't done anything, is stagnant in its motivations. And so it's about reassembling this trinity of yourself. Maybe a more healthier aspect is that you switch between these different characteristics. However, some get in the way of other things. Like, if you had to deal with some situation, your feminine would want to possibly protect that, and you might say, no, we can't do that. And then you kind of have this inner thing about yourself. The beast takes over when both of them fail. It's like the fuck's sake, deal with it, and then it just gets involved, and it's less communicative. Sexuality wise, So yeah, I mean, it's a bit more complicated. I mean, my inner beast doesn't really have. It's not gender specific. It's asexual, um, and it's driven by impulse and certain desires and power. So it has narcissism, and it has sadism in there. So you know, like if I played a game with someone and are up for it, that I would gain some pleasure from that. And in the past, I did do something like that with we had some sort of weird game of mates, and I got to dare to do something, and I got some pleasure out of it because they had to, you know, basically they couldn't forfeit it, so they had to do. I think I got a guy to stick a vacuum cleaner on his knob or something, and another one I got him to put a stiffy on some ice because at the time we're just a sort of gang of youngsters exploring ourselves. So aspects. Anyway, I've got to go, so I will speak to you soon. Bye.